know, this isn't your daddy's SOTIC. The SOTIC is the original name of the course. When I came through, it was SOTIC, was the Special Operations Target Interdiction Course, and a lot of the old timers still call it SOTIC. It's been since renamed SFSC, which is Special Forces Sniper Course.
The Special Forces Sniper Course not only received a name change, but also recently got an extensive overhaul.
You know, we went from 7 weeks to 8 weeks. We do 27 night fires. We usually end up working 2 to 3 of the Saturdays and Sundays throughout the course. And then it's kind of a surprise to a lot of the guys, because they'll go back and talk to their team sergeants, and then the team sergeants will call out and be like, hey, you know, our guys are saying you're working all these hours. You know, what are you teaching that you didn't teach then? A lot of the guys, you know, that come through the course, you know, they're going right down range. They're going into harm's way. And we need to push forward the effort to train them and get them to be the better shooter. You know, to be able to kill that guy at 800 meters is a lot better than having to kill him at 400, because once they're 400 and in, that's, you know, they're danger close. They have a high likelihood they can kill you at that range as well. You know, everybody was hung up on, you know, at 800 meters, you take that first shot and then hopefully you hit him with the second. Now we want to hit that guy with the first shot. We want to hit him and then his buddies look at him and be like, oh, what happened to him? And then hit them as well.
One of the major changes implemented to the course was the addition of a new piece of technology, one that helps today's sniper take a longer range, yet more accurate shot.
We started using the PDA ballistic software. It wasn't uncommon for an instructor to say, when I first got here as an instructor on a test, hey, you don't have to take any shots at the 800-meter targets because you're not going to hit them. We routinely hit 4-inch clay pigeons at 800 meters now. Yeah. The PDA brought forward a mentality of where a lot of people were scared of it. You know, it's electronics. A lot of guys didn't understand the operating system, how it worked. When we started using it to its capability, it took that shooter that was struggling to hit that target at 800 meters, a full-size E-type silhouette, 20 inches by 40 inches, and brought them down to 12-inch plates, then brought them down to 4-inch clay pigeons, and they can hit those at 800, and the PDA is what accomplished that for us.
In addition to increased accuracy and the ability to make shots at longer distances, the PDA also saves a sniper valuable time.
It allows that shooter that used to traditionally spend months and months on the range collecting traditional dope on their gun to be able to engage targets. You know, they'd shoot every 50 meters. They'd go back when it was cloudy. They'd go back when it was hot, and they'd go back when it was cold, and all that information was written down. The reality of it is that data is only good for where they're at that location. So with the introduction of the PDA, it allowed you to build your gun with your gun data and take your Kestrel, your handheld weather station, update your atmospheric pressures, your barometric pressure, relative humidity and temperature, and it will morph the ballistic algorithm for that gun in your PDA to achieve a higher grade of accuracy in your shots.
Now, technology has allowed us to go outside of the box, outside of that comfort zone for laying flat, dumb, and happy, and we shoot multiple rapid engagement techniques. We shoot, you know, nights, days, stress events. We shoot with body armor, helmets. We shoot, you know, multiple positions in the tower. A lot of shooting and moving. Just how much? It's more about how much we've added to the course, how much more they can take away, not as a result of the technology itself, but how much time it's saving them in the other aspects of long-range shooting.
Sometimes it's important to remember that one must not only evolve with technology, but get back to the basics as well. The SFSC instructors took a hard look at how they were teaching the fieldcraft portion of the course and decided it was another area that should be updated.
There's that fine line of having a really good shooter and we're on the range all the time versus having that shooter that's not very good at fieldcraft, and one of our big pushes was in the actual fieldcraft.
Okay, we used to just do stalks. We used to do multiple stalking exercises, but we noticed that when we were out here training that the hardest part for students was moving into their FFP, which was final firing position. You'd be out here as a walker and you'd see a student crawl around for 2 hours and he wouldn't get into position. So what we did, we isolated that the toughest part of the stalk. We took out the long movement, we isolated the movement into the FFP. make sure he's got good screening, good natural veg, and he's blending with his backdrop, and he moves in, and we do isolation training on the last part of it, and he gets a shot, the IDs, and we can point out things real quick that he's done wrong. And at the time it takes to do a 3-hour stalk, we can do 8, 10, 12 camouflage and concealment exercises, and it's very, very beneficial to the student.
More time spent interacting with students during the camouflage and concealment exercises has allowed them to make some of the other stalks during class a bit more challenging.
What used to be a 3.5-hour event has now cut down to a 2-hour and 45-minute event with only 15 minutes of prep time instead of the 30 minutes of prep time. We've also increased the number of deficiencies that can be brought to a student as far as his use of natural vegetation, his use of screening, whether or not he's screened in a 360-degree environment or whether he's just playing the game. The reason why we've been able to move to this and cut the number of stalks that we normally do is because of the isolation drills, the CamCon exercises, pushing these guys out multiple times within one day, within a 3-hour period to work just the FFP portion of the exercise. And we're producing a way better product that's tested twice as hard.
We saw our stock averages going from about 72% up to about 87, 88% pass rates. So it's proven technique. Take 4 hours of traditional training, condense it into 15, and do 4 or 5 15-minute training sessions, and they get way more than they would if you're just letting them walk through the woods.
The increase in the grade point averages that the use of the PDA and isolation drills brought about helped highlight another area of the SFSC that needed a long, hard look. This one was a little more personal.
You get looked at hard by your peers as instructors in this course. If you're slacking, you're going to be told you're slacking. We had instructors that would routinely lose 3 students out of his 4 that he was assigned, and whether it be to field craft or shooting or not enough points. But we'd have instructors that would never lose a student. So we did a hard look inside and was like, hey, why is that one instructor losing so many students all the time? We'd pair him up with another instructor to sit with him, watch him on his classes, and a lot of times it could be language barrier, it could be he just doesn't have the personal skills to communicate what needs to be presented to the student. Sometimes it's just a student. I mean, not everybody can do it, but the majority can. You know, we start a class of 40. We want all 40 guys to graduate. We took the guys that were struggling as instructors and retrained them in their methodology of training and how they were thinking. That it wasn't acceptable to have a student fail, that, you know, it's your job as a Green Beret to be a trainer, and if you can't train a fellow Green Beret or a Ranger or a Tier 1 asset to shoot, then how are you going to go down range and train an indigenous force to do it? If you don't understand how to use it, you know, we're on the global, the team room number, you can get that easy enough. Call, ask for information. If you're not asking for information or trying to find a new way to do something, you're falling behind. And that goes with everything. You can look at that all the way across team, the whole team dynamics of the team. If your team's not training to go down range and, you know, deal with the enemy, then you're probably going to go down range and the enemy's going to deal with you. I challenge anybody.
If you're stuck on old school methods, find the nearest graduate.
If they think they got a better way to train it, bring it to me.
You set up a competition and we'll shoot it against you.
It's going to be hard to beat what we're doing right now.
Go toe-to-toe with him. I bet he'll run you to the ground.
Reporting from the United States Army John F. Kennedy Special Warfare Center and School, I'm Army Sergeant Teresa Coble.